Welcome back, everybody. It is week number 46 of 2024, and this is my weekly update to let you know what's going behind the lens here at Freakin Reviews. I'll start off with some good news. I got good news this morning, just about an hour ago. My doctor emailed me and said that my thyroid ultrasound results came back and they are stable. Not only are they stable, but some of them actually shrank. So I don't have to worry about that again for another year when I do my yearly checkup on them. So starting off with some good news, that's always a nice thing. And Bailey's happy, she's right here with me, she's celebrating. Now you may have noticed that I posted a video for the s'mores ramen yesterday publicly. Well, that was originally supposed to be a members video. I made the mistake of mentioning that video on Discord and I got talked into posting it publicly. But what they didn't know was that I had a second food video that was gonna be public, but now you guys get it next because I posted the ramen video for everybody. I've already filmed that video, I've already edited that video, and that is a Lunchly versus Lunchable comparison. That's right, a taste test of the two of those. To me, that's a better video. I was gonna make that public. Everybody wanted to see the ramen one, so they got that, and you guys get the Lunchable versus Lunchly. That won't be until Friday because today I have my member update. Tomorrow I have a product called the Egloo, and then Friday will be the Lunchly versus Lunchable members only video. The Egloo is kind of a weird one. That's one of those products that seemed really interesting at first, but then after I was finished testing, I was like, maybe it wasn't that interesting, you know, but that's how it goes. Not every product ends up panning out or living up to the expectations. I didn't buy that one, that was sent to me. It's not a sponsored post, you know I don't take sponsored posts, but occasionally people say, can we send you a product for you to evaluate? You know, there was no promise on my part I was going to give it a good evaluation. I don't think they're going to like my conclusion where I actually find a way to work around their refills, but that's how it goes, right? You wanted me to try it out, I tried it out. But it's an interesting product. I kind of like it, but you know, I figured out a way to not have to pay for the refills. Oh well. But going back to the Lunchable versus Lunchly video, which I will have available for members on Friday, I saw the other day that Marcus Brownlee got kind of in some trouble with people. Marcus Brownlee, like the most benign person out there. Like, he's beloved. He posted a video recently that was basically just an ad. It was like a 9-minute ad. People didn't like that. Not only that, but in the video, he was going like 95 miles an hour in his car in like a 35-mile-an-hour zone. People didn't really like his apology that much. He recently did this wallpaper app that everybody thought was kind of a big scam. So I don't know, it's kind of disappointing to see him get in trouble. I mean, that's on the heels of Mr. Beast, who nobody thought was ever going to get canceled. No, he's not really canceled, but he's gone through his own stuff. And his recent announcement that we investigated ourselves and came up with nothing, that's BS. I don't like that at all. Come on, Mr. Beast. There's all these accusations and you're going to say, we investigated ourselves and we came up with nothing. I don't buy it. Get out of here, Mr. Beast. I don't buy it at all. But man, it seems like all the creators, once they get to a certain level, they're just, greed takes over. Marcus Brownlee, I'm still can't get over that. I remember one time talking to someone who had reached out to Unbox Therapy and asked how much it would be for a sponsor post, and he said $70,000. $70,000. You know, I have kind of this personal dislike of sponsored videos, of integrated ads. I mean, like, think about it. When I do a review of a product, I want it to be valuable 3-4 years from now. Someone on Discord just said, hey, I watched your Circle video from 3 years ago and it was really helpful. What happened if I had some crappy mobile game in my integration in my video that doesn't even exist anymore? Well, before I go on my video, let's thank today's sponsor, this crappy mobile game that won't be around 6 months from now, and I'm gonna waste 2 minutes of my video on it. I don't like that, man. It ain't worth the money. It's not worth it to me long term. I won't do it. I get why some people do it, but it's not for me. Money's not everything. In fact, if I was the CEO of YouTube, I would say if a creator has an integrated ad in their video, they're not allowed to have mid-rolls. That'd be my rule. That's my rule. If you have an integrated ad, no mid-roll ads. Take that. Yeah, one or the other, not both. Maybe that's not very creator friendly, but I mean, come on, there's a limit to this stuff. There's a limit. I'm rambling. But going back to the greed factor, Casey Neistat had a pretty good video on this several years ago, basically talking about how money doesn't buy happiness, which we all hear. Not everybody agrees with. Some people think money does buy happiness, but he presents it pretty well, saying that there's a layer of problems that money does solve. And then usually once you've solved those problems, then you have to start getting into some more deep-seated problems, such as a purpose or genuine happiness. You can't really think about what's my purpose in life when you're trying to struggle to keep the electricity on. If you ever see me doing a sponsored post, it means I've gotten some sort of a financial situation, like a medical bills or my channel's tanking or something. I don't know. I'm not saying everybody doesn't have a price. I mean, if someone came up and said, we'll do a sponsor post for $10 million, I'd probably say, all right, I'll do it. Everybody's got a price, but mine's a lot higher than a lot of creators are. I remember one time, Tyler Tube's manager, AKA childhood friend, reached out to me and asked if I wanted to do a sponsored video from someone they were working with. And I said, no, I don't want to do it. He's like, it's $4,000. And I said, I don't care. I don't care how much it is. I don't want $4,000 to ruin my channel. So, no, I'm not crapping on Tyler Tube. I just, we have a difference of opinion as far as that goes. I don't think it brings any value to the viewers. I don't think I really don't believe in doing a sponsored post for something you're reviewing. That's called an ad. I did one ever 5 years ago, and I vowed never to do it again. There's been times in my life where I didn't have a lot of money, and I was pretty content. And there were other times in my life where I was comfortable with money, and I was miserable. Money doesn't equal happiness. There's a lot of other things in life besides money. Now, if you have money, it can dilute your misery. It can buy a lot of good crap. You can distract yourself with money. Say you're in a bad relationship but you got money, you can go on vacations, you can buy some new stuff. It might actually extend your relationship because you've diluted it with all these fancy distractions, but that doesn't really address the deep-seated problems you have. I do believe money doesn't buy happiness, and I also don't believe that sponsored posts belong on a review channel, but that's my opinion. But speaking of channels, now this is something I've been kind of sitting on. I haven't really talked to anybody about, really. Earlier in 2024, I launched Freakin 2, and the original intent for that channel never actually happened. I really want it to be something kind of like this, where I'm just kind of talking about random subjects. It's not really, I don't have any aspirations of it being huge or making millions of dollars from it. I really just wanted to just have kind of an outlet where I can talk. It doesn't really belong on the main Freakin Reviews channel. Somehow, I don't know how, it became this like comedy channel. And those videos were fun to make, but they're a lot of work. I really wasn't planning on increasing my workload by that much. So, I kind of haven't done anything of that for a while. So I've really been thinking about relaunching that channel for what I originally intended it to be, which was just me talking. I don't care if it gets 20 views. I don't care if it gets 20 million. Well, I would care if it got 20 million. I'm not gonna lie, but I don't care. I'm not really I'm not chasing views. I get plenty of those on this channel. But I do think that that's something I've really been kicking around. I've been making notes for. I haven't told anybody about. You're the first people I've told that I'm thinking about relaunching the Freakin 2 channel as what it was originally intended to be, and not a comedy channel that was too much work. If I do that, I was thinking January 1st might be a nice, good starting point for it. I'm not sure I'm going to keep doing it. In fact, I'm going to be filming some test videos over the next few weeks to see if I like the format or if I can really realize what I want it to be. Sometimes, what you think in your mind is going to happen and what ends up being the final product aren't the same thing. So we'll see. I mean, be on the lookout for it. If anything happens, I will certainly let you know first. But I think it's that time in the video where I talk about the number. The number of the week is 46, so let's talk about 46. Now this is an easy one for me, because when I was 46 years old in 2014, 2 years before I became Freakin Reviews on YouTube, really, when I look back on it, I would say that is when disaster became destiny. Up until 2014, I was making a pretty comfortable living. I wasn't wealthy, but I supported myself pretty well with several websites. And one of them was my main website. I wrote 2 to 4 articles a day on there, every single day, 7 days a week. And I was making a decent living. I was able to support myself. I always had the Google real-time analytics up on one of my screens showing how many live visitors I have at any given time. And at any given time, I usually had around 200 people on my website. 24 hours a day, 200 people. I ranked really high on Google. I outranked some of the bigger websites. I was crushing it, man. When they had Alexa back in the day, not the digital assistant Alexa, but the website that ranked them, I was in the top 10,000 websites. I was crushing it. So one day, it was right around my 46th birthday. I wake up and I put on Google Analytics real time, and there was 10 people on the website. I was like, oh my, is my website offline? Maybe those are all cached visitors or something like that. Open my website, it's fine, it's loading fine. I'm looking at I'm thinking there's gotta be something wrong. How can I go from 200 people on average to 10? By the end of that day, reality hit that something happened, something changed, and I got booted off of Google's front page. I got booted. It ended up being a Google algorithm, and it wasn't even a significant update. It was not a significant update, but something happened and my website just dropped off. It booted from page 1 to page 4. I literally spent the next 2 years trying to fix that problem. I started watching videos by a guy named Matt Cutts, who was like one of the Google engineers who would tell you, if you're affected by a Google algorithm update, here's what you need to do to fix it. So I watched endless Matt Cutts videos, man. Matt Cutts. I think I still have nightmares about Matt Cutts. So if you watch any of my videos prior to Freakin Reviews, my demeanor is like Matt Cutts, because that's the only person I watched on YouTube. I didn't really watch YouTube prior to 2016 when I started watching Casey Neistat. I really didn't watch it that much. The only person I watched on YouTube was Matt Cutts trying to fix my website. After 2 years, I remember talking to my brother on the phone, and he's like, you're still trying to get that site revived? And I was like, yeah, that's my livelihood. I was kind of like just surviving on Freakin Reviews and Epic Reviews at that time. They were kind of just barely keeping me afloat. My other website, I was trying to get revived, and I couldn't do it. He's like, that's your baby and you're holding on to it, but at some point you have to move on. And man, I did not want to hear that. So I said, you know what, you're right. I'm just gonna start focusing on Freakin Reviews and Epic Reviews at this point. So I just said, that's when I stopped updating it. I stopped updating it the day after I had that phone call with my brother. I said, no more, I'm not working on this website anymore. I'm just gonna let it go. And the website now, I deleted all the images off there because I didn't want any copyright claims after the fact. But that website's still sitting there dormant with all these old content and everything. I just let it go. I just let it go. It was not easy to do, but I let it go. When one door closes, sometimes another door opens. And that allowed me to refocus on Freakin Reviews and Epic Reviews. And it led me only a few months later to embedding my first video on my website, which became my first video, the handy heater. But yeah, at 46, I had a significant drop in views. It was a 90% drop in views. It was rough, it was scary, and my income dropped about the same amount as well, so I was panicking. It makes me nervous right now still, because YouTube is still my primary job. So it still makes me nervous relying on Google, because you never know when an algorithm change can just screw you over, because it happened to me once already. That was 10 years ago. I feel like my channel's big enough to maybe be immune from that, but you never know. I don't know if there's really a moral to that story. I know I say that often. I don't think there's a moral to the story, it's just a story. But it is a story of how, I guess the moral of the story is that when one door closes, another door opens. In my case, I got lucky. I think my life's better off that it happened, but at the time it sure didn't feel like it. So sometimes when things go horribly wrong, it actually leads you to better places. That's the moral of the story. I just figured it out. That's the moral of the story. But anyways, I guess that's it for this week. I think that I'm going to kind of bask in my good news, so I have another year to not worry about my thyroid nodules as much. This afternoon, I'm making some mac and cheese, my Power XL Stirmax video. That product is elaborate. There's so many settings on there, it's almost overwhelming. But I'm making mac and cheese in there today. Egloo video tomorrow. Lunchly for members on Friday, so we got a lot coming up. And don't forget my merch store if you haven't checked it out already. And don't forget the Amazon Finds part of my website as well, because that is a curated list of things that I recommend. But that's it for this week. I hope you guys are doing great. Hope you're preparing for the holidays, because they're coming up quick. I appreciate you guys watching, and I'll see you next time. The advertising for the product has led some readers to believe that maybe they can replace their cable boxes with Clear TV. And unless you're just looking to watch local stations, that's not going to be the case.